Man, I am really liking what they're doing with the KD line. But before we go all in on these guys, we do have a quick public service announcement from the good folks over at WearTesters.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
If you wanted to know our thoughts on the latest sneaker news, well, we've got good news for you, because there's a podcast for that. If you wanted to know Chris's thoughts on the latest nerd there's a podcast for that. If you wanted to listen to Mrs. Wing tell really weird stories and maybe learn something new for the day,
there's a podcast for that.
You can find the WearTesters Unlaced podcast, also known as the Pop Culture Podcast, available now on all streaming networks, including right here on our YouTube channel. It uploads every Saturday, so yes, we're making Saturday mornings great again. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these bad boys right here, man. These things are dope. In case you weren't around way back in 2010, this right here is the Nike KD3, but it's the Christmas colorway. This would have been really nice to have had when these dropped, I'm just saying. Or when we were taking a look at the reverse Grinches, that would have been cool too, even though they don't really, these two go together. Where's the LeBrons though? LeBron 8 needs to come back in that colorway. But before we deep dive too far into these bad boys, we do have a quick word from our sponsor. The good folks over at Serious Player Only just dropped one of the best basketball bags I think I've ever seen in my entire YouTube life. And this bag right here is pretty badass if I do say so myself. I mean, just look at the back of it alone. Look at all of those comfortable little pillows and stuff, man. That looks awesome. The bag itself is made out of a synthetic leather that is actually water resistant and stain resistant. There are a lot of compartments and it's great for student athletes. The pouch that's labeled with this little t-shirt and little like water droplet design is actually for all of your wet clothes. So if you just came from practice, you stick your stuff in there. Meanwhile, the other side has a sneaker slot that is actually ventilated, which is awesome. So again, if you're out of practice and you're going to your class, you got a place to store your shoes and it's not gonna funk up your stuff. There's a dedicated laptop sleeve in the back and it can hold up to 2 laptops or iPads or one of each. The main internal pouch can fit up to 5 additional sneakers, for those days when one just isn't enough. And then there's one additional pouch right in the front that can store damn near anything else that you might have on you. And to top it all off, we got this little like Velcro looking patch right here where you can actually put patches on it. So you can customize the look of your bag if you ever wanted to. And then last but not least is actually my favorite part, and it's right here in the bottom. So it's hidden when you don't need it, but you can take it out when you do. So you can wrap your ball up or your helmet and just kind of carry it with you all day long and everything. So I think this is a really great bag and it's available right now in this colorway. They also have a pink one coming very soon. So if you're interested in checking this guy out, we'll have a direct link down below in the description box. It will send you over to Serious Player Only's website where you can see everything that this thing has to offer and check out if maybe you wanted to grab one. Now, as far as the KD3 is concerned, I really like what they've been doing with these retros. We have seen a number of original great colorways come back, which I think has been awesome. We've gotten these guys right here, and we also had the all red all-star joints, which we actually happen to have reviewed on the website, or not on the website, on this channel. Well, it's on both, but whatever. And we've even gotten some great new looks like the Ant Pearl colorway, which is awesome. This shoe right here really reminds me of a great time, not just in Nike basketball history, but also just as a consumer buying basketball shoes. Not only was this shoe under $100, which was a great deal at the time, but I got my original pair for even less than that. I think it was like half that because I found them over at Nordstrom Rack. They were all black, they were awesome, and these things were built and tough too. I played in them outdoors, indoors, everything, and nothing really with them. It was crazy. The overall design, obviously that's up to the person, but I do think that they look quite nice. I don't know if I would wear this particular pair casually, but this is one of those attention grabbing pairs for you on the court. Not only is it just bright ass yellow, but the entire upper is reflective. It even says on the insole that it's made out of synthetic leathers and everything like that. So again, they're not kind of promoting anything super nice. That's also something that's interesting about this shoe is that some of the colorways do use really nice, genuine leather. At least the originals did. I think although the retros so far have been synthetics. But either way, look at this outsole, man. This outsole looks fantastic. And on top of that, it is tacky as a mofo, dude. Like this thing just stuck to my little stage floor over there with the actual basketball floor style court. It's just awesome. And it's just like what I remembered. Like these things are phenomenal, like on court and off court. Just a great thing. Or I shouldn't have said on court and off court. I should have said on court and outside. Indoors, outdoors. My bad. It's been a long day. Now the cushioning's nothing really to write home about. You got a lightweight Phylon midsole, and then in the forefoot there's a Zoom Air unit, and it's one of those units where sometimes you can feel it and it's awesome, and sometimes you can't. However, in the retro right here, it does feel a little bit better than what I remember the original feeling. So I don't know if the foam is a little bit different than the originals. I think those ones were a little bit more of a dense Phylon, whereas these guys feel a little bit fluffier. But either way, solid tech for what you were getting at the time. I do know that that insole is a piece of shit. and you could take it out if you wanted to. So there is glue in there, so keep that in mind. If you do want to take it out, make sure you take it out before you start wearing it, because that glue, once it heats up, will bond to the other layer in there, and there'll be a pain in the ass to remove after that. If you do happen to wear them with the insole in there, and then you want to remove it, use a hairdryer on low, and you'll just kind of blow it in there and stuff, and it'll heat that glue back up. You can pull it right out and put in anything that you want. Like I was saying before, the upper on these guys is fully synthetic, so there's nothing really special about it outside of the fact that it's all reflective everything. And I just had to show it to you guys because it's one of the weirdest reflecting uppers, where the upper is so bright already that like you could barely tell that these things are shining. It's so weird. This all is reflective that you can see, whereas that panel right here, this midfoot panel, is a kind of like a patent leather. And then obviously we got the fly wire right there, that OG fly wire, which I always found to be funny because basically they were touting that threading sandwiched in between plastic is going to be more supportive than if the plastic were just by itself. And well, that's not true. The plastic is supportive plenty. You don't need the fly wire, but hey, gimmicks are cool, right? They sell product. And by the way, gimmicks can work. Zoom Air, gimmicky, but works. Air, it kind of works, but still gimmicky. Cushlon, gimmicky name. And comfortable though. So yeah, not all gimmicks are bad, not all gimmicks are just to sell products. Some are actually legit. It just kind of depends. One of my favorite features of the shoe though is actually not on the visible side or the lateral side here. It's only on the medial side, and it's this little weird ass flap right there. They called this an adaptive fit flap, and they actually did it better in the next model, in the KD4s, where this turned into that weird ass strap. And that's where it really pulled this side of the material up and over your foot and then locked it in with Velcro. This guy is only adhering to your foot via the lacing system, which is pretty standard. So it doesn't work like it maybe was originally intended, but it's still a really cool feature. And again, without that right there, I don't think that they would have morphed it into what it eventually evolved into, which was the adaptive fit strap system. So I think that it's a good thing that it was there, and so that's what it is. I really like the back view of the heel as well. Not only are the little heel notches and pillows really comfortable, but you also have the KD35 right there on the back, and they're reminiscent of PlayStation buttons because he's a gamer, so I just really like that. I think it's cool. And then the last cool feature is actually right here on the tongue. Comes in the form of a pull hole. It's not a pull tab, but essentially it makes the whole tongue a pull tab, which is really dope. And on top of that, it's incorporated within its actual KD logo, which is even cooler. And I know this sounds dumb, but back in 2010, when we saw that, we were like, Now, as far as sizing is concerned, make sure that you go true to size. They do fit true to size. It's an awesome fit as well. They're not quite as narrow as what they started doing once they reached the KD4, so don't expect that type of fit. This one is much more neutral. These guys will be available over at Phenom for anybody curious. So if you're in the Sacramento area and you might be near downtown, make sure that you stop by, say hi, say WearTesters sent you, and hopefully they still got these there so that you can grab a pair. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. Don't forget, we do have a podcast for everything else that we don't talk about here in our reviews. So if you're interested in anything from sneaker news, or our thoughts on sneaker news, or our thoughts on nerd, you wanted to hear weird ass stories or maybe learn something new, check us out. It's pretty awesome. Thank you once again for everything. We really appreciate it. We will catch y'all on the next one. So until then, have a good one.